Here are the global results of Donald Trump's policy towards China. China has begun the largest expansion of its nuclear infrastructure in the country's modern history. In the desert regions of Xinjiang, near the borders of Russia and Mongolia, Beijing is building a giant network of facilities for its strategic nuclear forces. This is shown by satellite imagery, which we will analyze together today. The new military infrastructure is being built in such a way that even a first strike by the US would not be able to deprive China of its retaliatory nuclear capability. The system is being built near the Hami missile silo area, one of the key centers for Chinese intercontinental ballistic missiles capable of striking the territory of the United States of America. And the scale of the construction of nuclear military infrastructure is simply astonishing. It is larger than all the silos that exist in the world today. My name is Alexei Pichi. Let's discuss this topic together. There is definitely something to talk about here. But before we start, I ask you to please subscribe to this YouTube channel, like this episode, and leave any comment under this video. I will be very grateful to you for that. And subscribe to my Telegram channel, Pichi News. The link to it is in the description of this video. So Reuters writes today, and I quote, "A huge military complex is being built in a remote Chinese desert designed in such a way that no first American strike on China's nuclear arsenal could deprive Beijing of the ability to carry out a retaliatory strike. Chinese nuclear missiles can already reach any city in the United States." Now, satellite images show that Beijing is building an extensive network of launch sites, bunkers, and communication hubs nearby. Isolated nuclear silos where the Chinese army's longest-range missiles are stored. The images show more than 80 sites that will be used to deploy China's expanding fleet of mobile missile launchers and anti-aircraft batteries. And the scale of construction indicates an expansion of the fortified infrastructure designed to protect and operate China's land-based nuclear forces. The infrastructure is being built on a grand scale, covering thousands of square kilometers of desert. Essentially, this is a clear strategy for diversifying China's strategic nuclear deterrence. And as experts assert today, the ability to protect their silos in the desert is key to China's stated goal of creating a minimal but credible nuclear deterrent. This policy is based on the ability to deliver a retaliatory response in the event that China comes under nuclear attack. Although the People's Liberation Army of China can launch nuclear weapons from submarines and aircraft, the silos in northwestern Xinjiang and Gansu province still form the core of China's nuclear forces. And the cornerstone of the Chinese doctrine is the policy of not using nuclear weapons first. This means that Chinese forces will not initiate a nuclear exchange. However, some high-ranking Western diplomats and analysts say that China may resort to nuclear coercion in order to limit external interference in a conflict over Taiwan. This is a very important point, and we will come back to it a little later. Here, I would like to remind you that this month, the Chinese leader Xi Jinping warned US President Donald Trump that it would be wrong. In his opinion, resolving disagreements between the countries over Taiwan, which China considers its sovereign territory, could lead them into a dangerous situation, up to and including war. And here is a revelation about nuclear forces. And as experts now claim, the new desert infrastructure is concentrated around two octagonal structures built over the past 6 years in eastern Xinjiang. Both are located to the southwest of the nuclear silos in Hami. One is about 140 kilometers away, the other about 230 kilometers. Satellite images show that the octagonal structures house living quarters for personnel and large military equipment. In the center of the complex is the main building, where the entire command staff is based. The central part of the complex is surrounded by a ring of buildings that house military personnel. The third tier might store military equipment like launchers. Along the perimeter, there are several temporary structures and dozens of military vehicles. On either side of them are armored bunkers and fortified weapons depots, as well as airfields and railway junctions connecting the octagonal complexes with the Hami silos. As seen in the images, this month and throughout April, exercises involving large military equipment took place around the northern part of the octagon. In the latest images, large tents and camouflaged launch pads are also visible. Carved out in the desert, some of them are equipped with surface-to-air missile batteries. And here I would just like to remind you that in September last year, during the parade in Beijing dedicated to the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II, the Chinese military demonstrated weapons capable of carrying nuclear warheads. Among those demonstrated were intercontinental ballistic missiles based in silos and on trucks. Well, in the latest Pentagon report on the modernization of the Chinese army, it is stated that warhead production in the country has slowed down, but it is moving toward having 1,000 nuclear warheads in its arsenal by 2030. The December report estimates that China has likely deployed 100 intercontinental ballistic missiles specifically in its three main silos. China is also strengthening its early warning system, which is based on Huayan-1 satellites. According to the Pentagon, this system is capable of detecting an incoming intercontinental ballistic missile within 90 seconds after launch and notifying the command center within 3 to 4 minutes. This amount of time is enough for China to launch its own silo-based missiles before they are hit. And finally, I'll give you data from the International Institute for Strategic Studies. The Institute for Strategic Studies writes that a potential conflict between the US and China over Taiwan is most likely to provoke the use of nuclear weapons. American and Chinese military forces have different objectives. China seeks to deter the US and its allies, while Washington aims to strengthen the resilience of the island of Taiwan. And so far, there is no public information indicating that the parties are ready to establish protective mechanisms. We're talking about rules, the use of weapons that would limit strikes on key nodes of the computerized intelligence and command and control system. There is still no agreement on how to respond if something happens. And in fact, China is now preparing this powerful nuclear arsenal, which, according to its plan, should simply deter the United States of America from even attempting to defend Taiwan. In other words, it's a hint that we're developing such a nuclear program that if we go to seize Taiwan and you try to stop us, we'll immediately strike you with these missiles. I'll leave it at that. Share your opinions and conclusions in the comments below this episode. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and don't forget to like. If you want to support the work of this YouTube channel, you can do so with any donation using the links and details in the description of this video or by using the QR code on your screens. That's all for now. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye, everyone.